Angry guy here, and women have created a living hell. Women have created a living hell. Guys, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Nothing lasts forever. And the reality we're now living in is a very harsh one, where everything is just literally money driven and women are just focused on getting their bag. And it's just something that has spread to, the entirety of society. In a functional society, men would stand up and say, yeah, no more. I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to pay for this. But guess what? Things are just getting absolutely worse for people in general.
Experience it right. You place an order, you insert your credit or your debit card, but before you get the service that you are about to pay for, you're asked, hey, how much would you like to tip?
Yeah, do you reward service that hasn't happened yet, or does waiting until the job's done jeopardize the quality of service? That's the question we asked KSL consumer investigator Matt Gephardt to look into.
Look at this. This is one of the hot spots.
Dave Sawyer has a side hustle.
And that little blue dot shows where you're going.
He delivers food for DoorDash and Uber Eats.
A fizz coming up right here.
And boy, oh boy, does Dave think fondly on folks who throw him a little something extra to say thank you for the effort.
I was like, wow.
Though if Dave's being honest, it's not the generosity that he really remembers as much as it is the times that he's been under-tipped.
I get mad. I go, why do they even do that order?
It's just horrifying to find out that you're going to be losing money delivering this order.
Heather Myers also drives for DoorDash.
0 tip. I was pretty much working for charity.
She says she has been under-tipped or no-tipped so many times that she's learned to be very selective about which orders she even accepts.
You want to know what you're getting before you go very far.
DoorDash actually encourages drivers to be selective. They recently launched a program that nudges customers to be better tippers. DoorDash has begun warning customers in the event that a consumer chooses to not leave a tip, their order may take longer as a result. And for their drivers, they've said they can accept or reject offers based on if they think they're valuable and rewarding. Since launching this test, DoorDash says they have seen a meaningful decrease in no-tip orders. This is the latest example in what has become a country that is tipping a bit more towards pre-tipping for service, says Ted Rossman of Bankrate.
There are different motivations for tipping.
Yeah, tipping historically has been used to reward good service or as a motivator to ensure good service. In the past few years, that has shifted.
Sometimes we tip because it's expected and it's part of that social contract.
The limits of that social contract are being tested. We've all seen the iPads asking for 10, 20, even 30% before any service has been done, or sometimes no service at all.
I've been asked to tip at a self-checkout machine at an airport.
Which accounts for why around 2/3 of Americans now have a negative view on tipping, and about 30% think that tipping culture has gotten out of control.
How are you?
Now, many restaurants and other establishments have insisted that pre-tipping will not impact your service. Now, others like DoorDash are saying, yeah, it sure will.
You know, it's interesting, that sort of transparency.
When you think about it, tipping in advance is not entirely new. People who are going to be in one place for a long time, like at a hotel, by a resort pool, or at a bar, have been known to grease the palms of their server or bartender as sort of a bribe, hoping to curry good favor going forward. And maybe you've been a little extra generous at the end of a meal when you know you're going to be back and you're trying to bank a little goodwill and future good service.
Most time when you're coming back after you deliver, you'll get another order.
As for critics who might argue that people who've already been tipped lose the motivation to work hard and try to earn a tip, the gig workers to whom I spoke say the opposite is true.
You've already gotten the money. Does it change your motivation to hustle?
Not at all. I'm a good worker, and I'm going to work for that money.
And you pre-tip me, you give me that money, I'm going to work my tail off to get you that and get you the best service.
So the survey in that story said about 2/3 of people have a negative view on tipping. We conducted our own unscientific survey today on social media asking for opinions on pre-tipping versus tipping after service. We did not get a single comment in favor of tipping in advance. guys.
No surprise.
No, and I've had a couple instances where I've done the pre-tip and I've paid them the 20% before I got my food, and then afterwards the order was all messed up a couple of times. And what do you do at that point, right? You can't take it back and say, you know what, your service wasn't great, so I'm going to take that money back.
Some apps will allow you to go in and adjust. They encourage you to go in and tip more afterwards. Of course, they'd prefer than you taking some away. But yeah, some will allow you adjust a little bit.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, guys, this is only a part of the living hell we are living in right now. Modern women have created a society where no one wants to live, where everything is basically me, 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 me. You're going to give me what I want, or else I'm going to, you're not going to get you're not going to get service. You're not going to get what you paid for. Imagine being able to order food on DoorDash, on a DoorDash, and then being told, just so you know, if you don't grease the palm of the person who that may deliver your food, you may not get your food. It may take a bit longer. It tells you how long it's going to take for your food to get here. Here's the estimated time. It should take 20 to 30 minutes for your order to get to you. Although, if you don't tip, it might take longer. We encourage you to tip. And guys, it's absolute extortion. It's 100% extortion. Now you're told that you need to tip in advance before you even get your stuff. Like, you have to tip in advance. So, guys, these people, they basically know they don't have to care. They don't care about your food. They don't care about your order. They don't care about anything. They're still going to do the terrible things that they're doing regardless, because they know that now they just know, like, you have to give them money anyway. There's no tip for good services rendered. It's literally basically extortion. And that's kind of Western society. That's the model that women have created in Western society, where, you have this rapid inflation that is just not slowing down. People can't afford food anymore. People can't afford to live anymore. People cannot afford to survive anymore. And women basically think that they can just go and find the highest bidder, and they're going to find, and there's going to be a man that's going to take care of them. What women don't comprehend is that, sure, there are a lot of men who are more than happy to get physical, but there's not a lot of men who are willing to get married right now. And they're all living off the simp economy and trying to take advantage of guys, find men who will take them on dates so they can eat for free and live for free and buy them stuff, and basically shame them or scare them. Because basically this is the reality. You get mixed up with a woman, she's looking to take advantage of you, and you're basically going to just give her what she wants so that she does not do something that can destroy your life, like put your name on social media or shame you, or socially shame, because they'll do this. They will literally start screaming and socially shame you, and as a means of punishing you for not giving them what they want. Or you take her to a restaurant that she doesn't like to be at, didn't want to go to because it's not expensive enough for her. She'll start hollering and screaming that you're broke, you don't have any money, this guy is broke, he doesn't have any money. She'll draw attention to you. Like, she'll blast you, she'll film you, put you all over social media, destroy your name, and those are just the light stuff. Those are just the light things that a woman will do to you. It's crazy. I talked about it in another video. This is just one of the primary reasons why men are basically saying, we're not going to cohabitate anymore. Men do not want to cohabitate. They are avoiding cohabitation. I saw a stupid comment from someone who said something like, oh, well, historically marriage, that's what marriage was for. Marriage was basically to prevent this type of thing from happening. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, marriage in today's society is absolutely terrible. Marriage is much more dangerous than cohabitating, than just cohabitating. Because once you get married, that's when things get even worse, because now you can't leave. It makes it much, much more difficult to leave. When you're just cohabitating with a woman, she always knows that you can just pick up and take off. And it's hard. It becomes more difficult when you're living with her. But at the same time, she at least knows that she does not, own that relationship. You can walk out of that relationship anytime. Once you've married her, you are locked in, and she can now take half your stuff, and it becomes much more difficult for you to leave because she has you. She has you. And of course, it's just a piece of paper to her, but it's a piece of paper that allows her to extract wealth and resources from you with very little consequences for her. That's the absolute reality. I look at the passport kings, and I show a lot of respect to passport kings. Keep in mind, not all passport kings are going overseas to get married. Some passport kings are just going overseas to find peace, and they have no interest in getting married. But a lot of these men do want to get married. They do want to find women overseas, wives overseas. But a lot of these guys act like they have this very traditionalist mindset, and they seem to think like marriage is the rescue for everything. Like marriage is going to save you from everything. A lot of these are the same guys who worship the Filipinas and think that Filipinas are unicorns. The Filipina unicorn, like this is like perfect women do actually exist, and it's like no amount of lecturing will can tell these guys that, like, bro, they are not unicorns. They are not perfect. You need to stop with this. And they will argue with you. They will curse at you because they found the woman that they will worship for the rest of their lives until things get messed up. And you know what's crazy about some of these guys? There's a lot of these men who they go through many Filipinas. They'll get married to like 3 different Filipinas, and they'll just go from one Filipina to the next Filipina to the next Filipina, and they will learn literally nothing. They learn literally nothing at all. I've heard the story over and over. These guys who just go from one to the next to the next. And I don't know, guys. It's just a sickening environment. If you're enjoying the content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications. Never miss another video ever again. Women have created a living hell. What do you guys think about this? I want to hear your thoughts about this. So let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.